You can make a Christmas chunky knit blanket with these rustic Christmas colors. In mainstays ivory, red, olive, and stone. I unraveled the ivory color first, and I made a slip knot. This will be your starting point. Wrap your fingers around and push through to make your first knot. You can adjust it here to make it a little bit smaller or larger if you like. I gauged about 2 fingers. You'll continue making your chain foundation to about 27 loops. You'll have your tail, your knot, and the rest of your chain foundation. The end loop remains open and up. You'll flip it over. Take your working yarn to the left, and then you will use the first bump at the top and bring in your first knit stitch. And you'll continue down that row. Continue making the knit stitches all the way to the end of this row. You'll see you have your tail and your working yarn on the left. You'll skip that first loop, that'll be the border, and then you start knit stitching on that second loop. And you can continue all the way down that row, moving your working yarn to the right. As you come to the end of that row, you'll pull that end loop up and through, making another knit stitch and continuing down another row. You'll see the chain border at the bottom with 4 rows that I've knitted. Next is the stone color that we're going to add. Cut the excess off to make a flat top, and then what you'll do is you're going to fuse that in and cut at the back row right there, and then you're going to fuse that in with the new color. You're melting the plastic cord in the middle, so you'll just smash it down and wait until it's cool and be able to do the stress test to see that it holds. Knit in the next color and you'll continue knitting down that row. Take the ivory yarn off to the side and then you'll have your working yarn ready. I always check my loops to make sure that they're even and consistent as I continue knitting down each row. At the end of this row, just continue bringing your working yarn down and through the loop and up so that you can now make a next row. After finishing with the stone color, I got out the red and I'm just starting to build on my blanket, row by row. Same with using the green. After I used the green, I got out the ivory again and I just made a single row. Then I continued knitting just single rows for the stone, red, and green. I'll roll my blanket up as I knit. With the chain board at the bottom, there's 5 rows of each of these, then singles, back to the 5, 3s here, and then 7 on each of those, and then 1 skein there. This blanket, I just chose different size rows. So coming to the end of knitting, you're going to cast off, making the last row of knit stitches bigger, because they will fold over and make the chain border at the top. I have a little over 3 rows lengths of yarn left over, and that's to cast off the blanket to make the top chain border. You'll sandwich the 2 end loops together and bring the working yarn through, making a loop and bringing that over so that it casts a chain over the top. And you continue down this pattern all the way across to the end. Once you sandwich the last 2 loops together, you bring in that working yarn through up and you're going to tie a knot and pull it down. Braid it through and then you'll fuse it to the blanket. Remember that tail at the beginning, you got to do the same thing and braid it through and fuse it to the blanket. This blanket ended up being about 40 by 60. I'd wash it cold water, gentle cycle, and air dry it. The red, olive, and stone colors are fairly new mainstay Walmart colors that came out recently. You can make a cozy, chunky knit Christmas blanket today. Come down my lane at Cobble Creek Lane for more DIYs, home decor, and crafts.